So I woke up this morning with the good news that DJI has released a new firmware that supports 50 megabits per second on the video link back to your goggles. So I've heard this rumor for a while, but now it's actually a reality. So let's give it a shot. So I have right here my goggles. I went ahead and plugged it into my computer, and I have DJI Assistant open. New firmware is available. Added 50 megabits per second bitrate mode, which provides better image quality. So from what I've heard so far, it combines two channels together in order to give you that throughput. So I'm going to click confirm here. It says it's downloading now. Okay, now it's transmitting to the goggles. Okay, now it's on its last step of updating the actual firmware on the goggles. Now, I had a few questions. One was on the actual air unit itself, when recording to an SD card, is the quality any better? So we'll test that out. I also am going to have some pre-flight footage of the old firmware and the footage of this new firmware from the DVR on the goggles to see what the difference is like. And if we could see breakup on one of them and on the other one, it performs a lot better. I'll be flying in the same area, so we'll see what that looks like after this is done. Okay, so update is complete on the goggles. Now to the air unit. Okay, so I have my air unit connected to the computer and the drone is turned on. Props are on, but you shouldn't do that. It's finding the new firmware now. There it is, downloading. Now updating. Well, it's been sitting at 95% on updating the air unit. I've always had a problem with how long this took and how hot the air unit gets while it's sitting here doing firmware updates. Okay, finally, update is now complete on both the air unit and the goggles. Let's go give it a try. Okay, so before I go fly, I wanted to make sure that in the goggles I could switch it over to 50 megabits per second. So if you go to settings, and then you go to transmission, then on transmission there's bitrate. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to 50, just like that. Oh, 50. Okay. And looking around, it still says 25 megabits per second. Interesting. Let me go back to settings. It says 50. Let's see what channel I'm on. Oh, I'm on the public channel. Let's go to channel 1. Interesting, there's only 2 channels. And now it says that we're 50 megabits per second. Awesome. Let's go give it a try. Okay, so I'm out to the same location I had for that flight. So I'll be flying off of that ledge there over to my house and back. Got all my equipment. Let's give it a go. So first impressions weren't the best, actually. I mean, there was a lot better image quality I felt when it was good, but in some of the places I was flying, it was a bit more choppy than it was I felt on the other flight. I don't know if the increased bandwidth can cause more breakup when you're far away, but the image quality definitely was better when it was good. So I'll let you guys decide with a side-by-side. So what you're seeing here is a side-by-side of 2 different videos from the air unit, one with the older firmware and the other with this brand new firmware with 50 megabits per second. And first thing I noticed using this inspector here is on the old air unit video, you have about 40 megabits per second, and on the new one you have about 40 megabits per second. So as far as what is recorded to your air unit, this firmware does not change anything at all. So there you go. There's a test of the 2020 July 8th firmware version for the DJI FPV system. And as you could see in the side-by-side, there was a difference with the goggles DVR on the firmware prior to this one and this new firmware. So let me know what you think below in the comments. My conclusion is that the video quality is definitely better when it's good, but wherever you flew that it was breaking up before, it's probably still going to break up like it did in the past. But while it doesn't break up and you're close around where you're flying and you had fairly good quality before, you're going to have even better quality now. Thanks for watching.